Hello everybody, and welcome to what is hopefully going to be a very exciting first race of the season in OFR's Gran Turismo Sport. This is Division 1 today. We've had Division 1 previously. This is just a practice start for now, but soon we'll be getting underway with the first qualifying session of the season. Let's just share the stream around a bit before we start. Looks like someone's already beat me to the punch. Right, well, as we watch for the first practice start, we should actually have a bit of time for me to take our viewers around a lap of Spa before everything kicks off. But until then, we should be able to do a quick rundown of the grids. Actually, it's fine, we'll do that in qualifying for now. Quickly switch display all on. And as we see, everyone is now going to start to cancel their entries and get ready for the calm before the storm as we soon head into qualifying. We've got a few people leaving the room, looks like we've got a few people stuck on the grid at the moment. That's no problem. Hello to everyone in chat today. We've already had 3 people join so far. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. And we could actually be about to see a room reset, as it looks like a lot of people are having trouble with room connections. It could very well see a lobby reset at the very start here, so right from the start we've got a bit of pandemonium. See if that's an omen going forward into a qualifying and the 2 race format. Different format this season, in case you didn't happen to catch the OFR pre-season race at Bathurst, which if you didn't, absolutely go back and watch it. What a phenomenal 2 set of races those were. We're running a 2 race format this season, almost as if a sprint race and a feature race. We've got our first race, it's going to be a 15 lap around this Belgian circuit. It's a mandatory tyre change between the soft and the medium tyre. There we go. There is going to now be a lobby reset, so we'll wait for that to come into effect. But as we were saying, we've got a 2 race format this season. We've got a 15 lap race. We're going to be changing between the soft and the medium tyre. It's mandatory to switch between the 2. And then we'll have a sprint race directly after. It's not mandatory to pit at all. Just have to make it to the end with whatever you can. Obviously, with the room settings, it'll be hard to avoid a pit stop as of the moment. But if for the brave and the bold, or for the people thinking more strategically, anything could happen in either 2 races, as this season's opened up more of an opportunity for tactical freedom. Actually, in fact, it's... yeah, it has opened it up. Despite restrictions, it seems to have opened it up even more, which is always nice to see. We'll wait until the new room has been opened. Hopefully we shouldn't be having to wait too long. There we go. New room is up. As we join back. Here we are then. I think in this time, while everyone's joining back, we could actually take you through a lap of Spa-Francorchamps. I know that's probably not the way to pronounce it. Here we are. Have I kept the automated voice on? I think I might have. Might need to turn that off. Give me 2 seconds, chat. No, I do not want to turn the camera. Right, okay, that problem. I think we've got the automated voice on. Okay. Take a quick outlap. Not sure what the room settings are on now. We've got quality settings, looks like. So avoiding the first two runs, going into Laguna, braking just after that exit curve starts, running as much of that right hand curve. Careful with this left hand curve on the second apex. Watch the exit there, especially with the car setups on. We're running loose limited slip differentials, increasing that rear tyre slip. Braking down now into Rivage, second gear. Just waiting an eternity for that apex to open up. Into X, or no name as it's more commonly known. Third gear corner, just carry the speed. Now we're diving down into the double apex left at Puon. What an incredibly quick corner this is. Down into fourth gear. And for the second apex, tuck it in nice and quickly. Into what I believe is 001, I might be wrong on that one. It's double apex. Not quite a chicane. Holding third, keeping the apex nice and tight. It's 002. Second gear, using all of that exit curve that we can. Now to pull for a corner. Carry it flat as much as you can, but that might start to be a bit of a trouble spot for anyone daring enough to hold the accelerator down once the tyre wear starts kicking in. Into Blanchimont now, easy flat in these cars. Don't even think we should see so much of a problem with tyre wear on. That's fairly easy. Smalley is being Smalley in the chat down there. And when we come to the last corner of the track, the bus stop chicane, down into second gear. Running those curves nice and high, watch for that exit curve on the right, watch for the rear tyres, not doing as well as they could there. Then across the line, just as a little bonus, we'll cover La Source and Puon. We might as well go for a round for another lap, nothing much else is happening. Braking between the 150 board and the 100 metre board. Into first, quick shift up to second if you can. A big run down there to one of the most legendary corners in motorsport. Easy flat. GT3 cars, first apex, Eau Rouge, carrying the speed up through the Radion complex. Now on this massive Camel straight, this will be where a lot of the drivers, this will be where we see some tuning changes potentially between between the 5 teams on the grid, who's running lower downforce, who's running the higher downforce in an effort to compensate through the rest of the track. And we'll see that through this very sector here, sector 2. Containing almost all of the corners on the track. Down now through Rivage, open up the exit. Probably call this X for the rest of the race. Down into Puon again. See if we can carry a bit more speed than last time. Not quite on that first apex, you've really got to watch out on the outside there. That AstroTurf is all too easy to get sucked into. Break a bit too late into 001 like I did there, you'll easily drift past the apex, and it's such a fine margin, specifically at that corner, given how late you can open up the apex there through 002 now. As much of that right hand side as possible. As we pull for a curve, as much as you open it up, it gives you a better run to try and corner flat out. Of course, it's going to get harder with tyre wear, and that could be the point where we see a lot of runs down into Blanchimont now. Now into the final bus stop chicane. Don't suppose we'll see too many moves into this corner, unless we see a last lap lunge from a desperate front pack. Hopefully we see that. We always love a good bit of racing at the front of the pile. That'll put us into the 214s. We'll have to see what drivers can do in qualifying, but of course, we've got a whole host of drivers that have actually received quali bans for switching cars under the new regulations. We had a pre-season race, and I believe the drivers who have switched teams are... I will switch keyboards and tell you actually. Switch my keyboard on. Using the wheel previously to give you that little demonstration lap, or laps. Keyboards in. Let's just give you a quick warning there. And switch keyboards on. So, the drivers we have currently in switched cars from their pre-season cars are Stig, Kimi and Dr. Robot, who have switched from the Audi R8 to the Mercedes-Benz. Kimmy, of course, one of our long-time drivers here in OFR Gran Turismo, here since the start, I believe, or very close either way. At least he was racing in Season 1 as far as I remember. We also have Smalley, if I can find him. That's not Smalley. There he is. Smalley and the Hamazaki team. That is Vilsec and Proctor, although I'm not sure Proctor's here at the moment. Switching from the Mazda Atenza to the Chevrolet Corvette. I was obviously running that car as well, helping the team out with a few bits, but as much as I can, I'll try and remain unbiased, even though they are the greatest team on the grid. And I believe we have I can't remember their name. AJ's team switching from the Lexus RCS and GTR. What a mega car this is on a straight line, absolutely unbeatable. But we'll have to see what they can do in the setups to iron out that cornering deficit that they will naturally have with that car. I'm still having trouble, it seems, with people on the grid. We've got Stig stuck. Leaker's game crashed. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. He can just join back and run the race that way. That shouldn't need another practice start. Maybe for Stig though. Doc offering to make the lobby. We might see another lobby reset here. We will get this race underway. Do not worry. It's just having some connection issues, I believe. This is kind of the problems of the virtual world as I see it. I suppose it's a good time to actually check up on chat. I haven't really flicked through it all. Hey Kessel, thank you for reminding everyone. Yeah, everyone here, don't forget to like, and if you're not already, hop on that subscribe button. I imagine most of the people who I should have packed a drink. I've already been talking for 15 minutes and I'm wasted. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream already. If you haven't, subscribe. Chat is absolutely one of the friendliest places you can be. Don't feel shy to drop a message in here. We've got 6 people running at the moment. No pressure, but always nice to have a few extra faces pop up in the conversation. We've got Steve, who I believe is Bagpuss, if I'm thinking right. Who defines as a dark horse on the podium? That's a tricky one, because obviously we've got a lot of people switching cars, switching drivers. Not switching drivers, sorry. But we've got a lot of people in different cars, so it's going to be hard, really, to judge the performance of most people, seeing as more than half the grid has changed cars. But I don't think the order's changed too much. I think we're still going to see a battle, straight fight, battle for the championship between, I think my favourites would be AJ and Nils. However, for a dark shot at the podium, Castle's always a strong bet for someone that can turn up at a racetrack with plenty of pace in hand without really needing to do much practice. So, if I'm going to say anything, I would probably say Castle. Senti saying GTS is cringe. You're not wrong.
Let's go, Smelly Boy.
We've got Liam in the chat. Already got some support in for Smolly. That's what we like to see. Sorry, I'm supposed to remain unbiased. Towards the Hamazaki team. Smalley, as of the moment, I've been tipped off about this. Apparently, trying to take over D1 management. I'm not sure how well he'll fare against the political powerhouse that is Dot Co-op, and I think it's Kimmy or Castle at the moment. But we'll have to see just what kind of chaos he can rile up D1 today. This will be another practice start. Oh, Ron Pollux, or Mick, I believe, runs that account. Why? You wanted me to do it, and there it is. Right, let's see if we can get away without being stuck. And you know what? I might quickly change my volume settings, because that is very loud. Let's quickly do that now. We'll go lower on... Yeah. That should be alright. Actually, we'll drop these down as well. go. There we go. That should be alright. Let's see how that is now. Oh, hang on. Keyboard is still on. Let's go down to the. That sounds better, I think. Right into the back of Castle. Bit of jesting there between two friends, obviously teammates in the past, no longer ultimately. They've been split since season 3, I believe. I might need to fact check that though.
Cars look nice, not as good as D2 though.
Very truly, you know, a colourful grid on D2, but we like colourful. That's nice. So, I believe that might have been the last practice start. I didn't see any issues, so we should actually be good to start racing very soon. Or at least qualifying. Just to check stream, you're not getting those text-to-speech voices through, are you? I hope you're not, because that would be really, really annoying to go back and watch. Either way. Fight the stream either way, but just a quick check. There it is, that bumblebee looking Nissan GTR going down the Camel Straight, diving into Laguna. Metallic Blue opting for the new team in the AMG. Last time that AMG was driven, not clued up in my OFR history necessarily. Time it was driven, I think it was Aero Team Spinorama in season 2, but I think there was someone else in season 3 that might have run the same car. It was Gwen's Boys, yes, my bad. I believe it was Gwen's Boys anyway, or the Hamazaki D3 team from season 3. Can't quite remember on that one, but I think that should be around the same time period. A little bit. I'd say it looks more like some of the more modern Renaults. It's not necessarily got the aerodynamic lines running down its side. It's more of a like a gradient, like the new Ferrari livery is using. But I can see where you're coming from. We've got. You can't, chat, you can't hear that, can you? Because that's going to get really annoying really quickly, if you can. Moving on, we've got Ash Wilson in, I think we can call it his Old Faithful, the Aston Martin Vantage. We know he's very quick in this car. We know he's very comfortable in this car. Great. That's not going to get annoying. Oh well. Okay. No more emojis. That's the end of that. We can't have the bot just pronouncing emojis. I'm just kidding. Go for it. What's we got on the grid? We've got Thanks, Nightbot. We've got Smalley running in that neon pink Corvette. I'm biased and say that's the best looking car on the grid, but it's definitely not because I designed it. Of course, we've got running out on the grid. We've got the Seca racing car, the Toyota Supra. These guys had a bit of a democratic way of doing things. Can't say I approve. Democracy is very, very overrated. Why don't you just have everyone rule over everything? That was not funny. But yeah, the three Secudo drivers, Lika, Danny, and Castle, all designed their own liveries and then went to vote on which was them's best. See, that one splits opinion so far. Back. Smalley, I was talking to earlier, thinks it looks better on the Corvette. I think it actually looks better on the Atenza. I'm not sure about the other guys' opinions, but thanks, Nightbot. I might just say that every time Nightbot perks up, but it might get annoying in the end, so We've got Smalley. Not entirely sure about this car, but as long as the guys do a good job, ultimately that car will be looking. The car will be flying past at such a point where you can't even see the decals anyway. But the Secudo racing car, they had everyone vote whose was best, and I think in the end it might have been Lika that actually finished delivery. Yeah, I think it was Lika who finally got his livery approved by the rest of that team. So we're currently seeing OFR Lika's creation. We'll see if we can actually find Lika on track, see if he's running it now. There you go. That's a nice side panel shot of that Secudo racing Toyota Supra. It looks a bit camouflaged actually from certain angles, just there. Let's get some sort of camo pattern on it. We're looking to Stig now, coming to a congregation at the source, and Starting Donuts! As we love to see, a bit of showmanship. As Ash types in a paradox before we get going for the first qualifying session. So, we've got no tyre wear and no fuel restrictions, so everyone's free to set a lap as they fit. However, not necessarily. More than half the grid, as I was saying earlier, have their quali bands, so the way this is going to work, and we could see some trickery played here, potentially, we'll have to wait and see, is that the drivers that have switched cars and opted for different routes to take the season on, will be qualifying on a time that's lower than 2 minutes 30 seconds. I was aware that a few people were testing it, but ultimately no one picked up in the end. So, going on board, well not on board, but finally getting out on track, we've got cars already out in the run, we've got cars running through La Source, and they come now. Doc Coupe leads the pack for the first qualifying session of the OFR Season 6. Let's see if I can remember my button lines. I think it's this one for a special view. There we go, F12. I can bring up my fancy graphics. So, Doc Coupe leads us away under qualifying rules. I think behind him we've just got OFR Lika, who's just sliced past in that Toyota Supra. I think Doc is also just slowing up a bit here in an attempt to maybe get some slipstream, or just maybe not get swamped by the pack as much. We've got Castle now running in second. So it's looking planted through Stabilo 1. No, sorry, my bad. That is Fania. That is my bad. So what's Stabilo 2 then? Oh, there is no Stabilo 2 according to my book. My book of many corner names. Oh. It's a more boring book than Ash somehow. So we're going to watch Lika start his first flying lap, and by extension the first flying lap of the OFR D1 season, crossing the line now then. Starts his flying lap. We've got a whole bunch of cars running behind him. In fact, I'm not entirely sure Castle's going to be getting a turn at this point in the track. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure he's close enough to the car, but we'll have to see between his and Lika's top speed. We've got any other cars running behind with slipstream. We've got a big congregation of cars currently through the bus stop chicane. We've definitely got Stig and Robot here by the looks of things, towing each other on. That's definitely close enough for Robot to feel the effects of that slipstream, that car in front punching a hole in the air for the one behind to slip through. We've got Vilsec there currently running through the source. VR behind has no slipstream. Vilsec is just a bit further back than that. AJ behind. Maximus is directly behind him. That might be a slipstream. I think potentially might get it up through Camel if he's close enough. We can see jump back to Lika now on his first flying lap, currently heading through No Name or Ix, travelling into Puon now. Nice cam shot through there. Castle now directly in its path. It'll be interesting to see what the gaps are between these teammates, because Seca and Castle, obviously, very storied within OFR's Gran Turismo divisions, not worked together as a teammate up until this point. In fact, were running as rivals at some point with the Spinorama and Takio Phoenix Race Lab cars of Season 2. And by extension, actually, Season 1, as those were the two drivers. It was Vilsek and Proctor actually joining late. He's here, but he's not able to partake in qualifying. And as an extension, unless they cancel this qualifying and go for another one, we won't be able to participate in the next race. We'll be able to participate in the sprint race, but not the feature race that's about to follow qualifying. As you see Seca around the final corner, it ticks over 2:14 into the 2:15s, 2:15.9 for Seca to start out. Castle bests that with a 2:15.3. We look to Doc crossing the line now. He's going to go with a 2:17, a bit off the rest of the teammates. Nils comes flying out the gates with a 2:14.9. So that slipstream, I think that might have been that slipstream playing a hand, but still a phenomenal lap from Nils to start with a 2:14. We've got Smalley here, one of the drivers with a qualifying ban, playing the game that I thought we might see here, setting a 2:30.6. It's within the rules. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens and follows that. We've got Vilsek doing the exact same thing, so is Robot, so is Stig. We've got everyone queuing behind, everyone's playing the game. This is what I think we feared might have happened with the rule change that had come into play, and with the rule change that had played everyone into it. So the rest of these cars are not going to be able to get a proper lap in. That is their qualifying done. So out of those cars, AJ is the one that got closest to the 230s with a 230 dead. He's running it very close. But ultimately it has paid off, as he's going to be in a prime position to stay close to Nils at the moment. Are the rest of these cars still on a hot lap? Looks like they are, as Nils closing back up to Doc Corp at the moment. I wonder if at some point Doc's going to have to let Nils through. Doc's a bit off the pace as of the moment. We'll be interesting to see if he can get any closer to the pack, or at least these front three during qualifying. It looks like Nils is backed off on that lap. Where is everyone else? We've got Ash just behind. I think there was a bit of an error on that lap. That's a 2:22. I've seen him go quicker than that in practice. He can definitely do it in this qualifying session. In fact, let's go on board just to see how Ash is getting on. Ryan running down then this GT start-finish straight down into Raddy. On how much of that curb is he going to take? He's going to keep it nice and even, and just to keep a nice well-rounded run through Raddy on there. The big rise up the hill, not cutting too much of the right, coming down into Laguna now across the Camel Straight. So much time to be gained here if you've set the car up right. Seca's gone again with a 2:15.5. Very competitive lap time from Finn there. Dives through Laguna now into Malmedy. That is Malmedy, yes. Smalley giving a good message there. I think it's ultimately going to come to naught, as I think they're going to start with 2 minutes of the session left to go. I think we're going to see a restart to this qualifying session. Fairly reserved through No Name there as we dive down the hill into Puwon. Where's he going to brake just before that exit curb. Big long gears from that V12 engine revving out all the way down into Fania. You can definitely tell I'm reading these off of a piece of paper. And Danny is going into 5th position now, 3.5 off Doc. Let's see if he can do anything better with that time. We're going to flick back to Ash if we can. Really running up the hill from Frere to Blanchimont. Where's that time we're going to be as he comes across the line? He's through Blanchimont nice and steadily. Now into that final bus stop chicane, braking between the 150 and the 100, looks like. First apex is hooked. Second apex is hooked, drives it to the line now, not too much exit curb, doesn't cross the line over it, and we set a 2:16.6. That actually slots him in. It slots him fairly gapped between Leekler and Doc Co-op. We've got Nils then, leading the charge of people that have been able to qualify, actually in the gravel there for a second. Can we see what's happened there? Has he been on a lap? Oh, he's just been out wide. I don't think he's on a lap as of the moment. We'll have to see though. He just dropped it under throttle. Yeah, just a bit of oversteer on corner exit, and we see him running off the track just a bit. He should be able to continue on with the qualifying though with the remaining time that he has. We see him coming through Blanchimont now. He'll be able to manage another lap, but can he improve? Seeing as there's no dot co-op for Slipstream, can he do anything through that middle sector just to gain that little bit of time back? See now as he crosses the line. Starts his last flying lap with 24 seconds of the session to go. Where's everyone else? Castle has just passed through Castle Radion, sorry. He's on another lap, so is Lika behind. He's getting a nice tow in front from Castle. Ash should be able to start another lap by the looks of things. He's currently running nicely in fourth. Doc is able to start another lap. Is Danny going to be able to set another lap? No, this will be his last, so let's see what Danny can do. Can he lift himself ahead of Doc Co-op on this lap? Crosses the line, crosses 2:16s into the 2:17s. He gets very close to the back of him. 3 seconds in improvement, and only 3/10ths off of his nearest rival Doc Co-op, but unfortunately not enough to bridge that gap just yet. As we flick back up to Nils. In fact, who's currently closest to finishing the lap? We've got Ash now, closest currently to running across the line. Where's he going to be on this? His final flying lap crosses through that incredibly fast left-hand flick of Blanchimont down into bus stop now, breaking between the 100 and between the 150 and the 100. Sorry, mounts those last two corners, mounts those last two apexes, crosses the line. Now it's going to be within 2:15s. It puts him very close to Leekler, only 3/10ths behind, but just the same with Danny's situation, not quite there yet. Where's Leekler now coming around this final flying lap? It looks like Castle has actually dropped back in all this. Maybe it was just a bit of team orders there to try and elevate Leekler up past the pack. Can it work? As we see Leekler flicking through Blanchimont now into the 59s. It might just be an improvement, but I'm not sure how much of what it's going to be. We see him now going through the bus stop for the final corner. Where's he going to be in the midst of these final flying laps? Into the 2:10s, pulls to the line, bit of oversteer on exit. Let's see if he can improve his time at all. Not quite. He stays third fastest. Can Castle do anything? He's cancelled that lap, I believe. Doc is still on a lap for now. This will be the final flying lap, I think. Crosses the line and ultimately improves, but just not quite enough to narrow that gap down. Have we got one more car out on track? It's Nils. He knows he's got pole, and he pulls to the line with a conserved effort. So, hanging around there, we've got Nils on pole for this first feature race of the day, followed by Castle in second. Very good effort from Toyota Supra for that dark horse podium that Bag was talking about earlier. Leekler in third, which makes that Toyota Supra look increasingly around the Belgian mountains. Ash lining up in fourth. I think he'll be happy with that, to be quite close to the back of the Toyota Supras. Maybe not as happy to be kind of far away from his teammate Nils. He's currently looking at Doc. I think he'll be happy. He was quite frustrated, I think, throughout practice, with not being as close as he'd like to the front pack, but ultimately he's going to be within that midfield fight. He's going to be fighting for points nonetheless, so we'll have to see how his race gets on. Danny lines up in sixth position. It's going to be a very, very good start for Danny. As long as he can hold some positions off the line, he'll have a very good advantage to try and just nab some points in this first early race. There we go then, qualifying has ended. First feature race of OFR Season 6 is coming up right now. Here we are then, the grid of 15 cars lines up, ready to take the first corner. We've got Nils again on pole, Castle second, Leekler third. Ash lines up fourth, Doc is in fifth, Danabay in sixth, and the rest of them behind. were quite cheeky and set their times as close as possible. AJ came out the best of them. We look to the grid now. No amount of lights coming on. We'll have to see where all the drivers are coming out. Turn 1. Lights are out. We're away. Looks like Nils has made a really good start. He's still in the lead, currently ahead of the pack. Those Toyota Supras, not as bad as I thought they would be off the start. They've kept second and third. Currently flicking through turn 1 at the moment. Everyone's kept it clean in the back. We've got a GTR wider. That's VR. He's might drop to the back of the pack here as we flick down into Eau Rouge. Look at this. Nils has already pulled out an 8/10 gap into La Source and Radion. Incredible stuff. So, you know, unless anyone narrows him down quickly, he's going to be flying down the straight. But here come those two Toyota Supras. Can they do anything in the slipstream? The gap's closing enough. Going down into Laguna there. Yeah, I think Steve might have been on. So I think Bag might be on something there. Donald's dropped back massively. He must have had a jump start there as he's all the way back down in 8th. As we look to the front, Leekler now chasing down Nils. Ash has jumped Castle for 3rd, somewhere in there in what looked to have been Lake Com or yeah, we'll go with Lake Com. AJ's made a good start from 7th on the grid. He's already moved up 2 positions into 5th, getting all squirrely on the exit of X there. Danny still holding position in 6th. Very good start from the Spanish driver, but he's being hunted down relentlessly by a train of cars. It has to be said, I think he's holding up this pack of cars here, with Robot leading the charge, trying to get past that 3rd Toyota Supra. As we see Nils still in the lead, he's already pulled out of the slipstream, and I think he might just try and check out from this point in the race. He's just pulling out that gap nicely now. Lico is going to be very happy with this start. He's already up into 2nd place from what was 3rd on the grid, so he'll be happy with that. I don't think he'll be looking to narrow down Nils. I think he'll just be looking to do his own thing for the moment in time. We've got AJ on the back of these 3 chasing cars at the moment. Danny's still holding position in 6th. It looks like Robot is now trying to get up past Danny for 7th. He's going to go for it down the inside of Blanchimont. He's already on. He's through. He's on the inside. Has he made it work? He's alongside. Into the bus stop chicane. He's on the outside line. Can he get past before the first apex? Yes, he can. What a move to start a Blanchimont from Robot there. And he's being hunted down by Vilsec in that bright pink Corvette with Maximus behind him. We've got a car spinning in the background. It looks like one of the GTRs. If I can flick onto that now, we'll see who that was. It looks to be in VR. What's happened there? So we've got Iceman Kimmy diving down the inside, looks for a cutback, but just behind him it looks like Doc Co-op tagged him on the right, on the left-hand side, on the exit of the corner there. That's really unfortunate for VR. I think the stewards probably have a look at that by race's end. But flicking back to the main race, we've got Nils 1.4 ahead. We're starting to see the strength of that Toyota Supra. That gap was about 1.6 before Sector 1 happened. So we're starting to see that Toyota Supra has been optimised for the straight lines, as AJ has already clawed his way into 3rd place. He's beginning the charge for his championship contender Nils here, if the pre-season results are anything to go by. We've got Ash not letting him, keeping him honest now, coming through, but I think AJ might just start to pull away in the latter half of this lap. We've got Robot, Vilsec, Maximus, Kimmy, Stander. Where's Danny gone in all of this? He's already down to the back. Has anything happened to Danny at all? Or has he just simply dropped back? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's been in the wall outside of Malmedy there. It might just be that he's caught the outside curb, taking a bit too much throttle through, clipped the outside curb, and it's all too easy ultimately to have the car around by that point. Ultimately very unfortunate for the Spanish driver. He'll have to put in a concerted effort to try and claw back some points now. Maybe go for a long stint on the medium tyres. That's in the genre actually. Tyre choices. What tyre has everyone opted to go on for this first stint of the race? We've got Nils in front, choosing the soft compounded tyre straight out of the gate. He's going to be going for one of his push stints on this opening part of the race. We've got League behind, also on the soft compounded tyre. AJ's actually opted for the medium tyres here, as he sets the fastest lap of the race on them. That's a very good omen GTR driver. He knows that he's now got the pace on those mediums. I don't think he knows that Nils is on the softs, because his goal now is just going to close down that Aston Martin that's already pulled out, and only a 4-second gap on his position. We've got Ash 4th on the soft compound tyre, Castle in 5th on the soft compound. We've got Robot in 6th softs. We've got one of the Corvettes, Vilsec, that's on the medium compound tyre. We're trying to go long into this race. We've got Maximus, one of the other GTR. The other GTRs in this race, also on the medium compound tyre. This might be a team strategy thing, actually. We're seeing the cars that have not been allowed to qualify. So we actually saw a battle there between Robot and Vilsec. Robot trying to nip past the Corvette of Vilsec there, not quite getting through. Yeah, unfortunately, not the Wreckfest day. Maybe in the next race though, we might see some chaos. As yet, we look to Kimi now. He's also on the medium compound tyre, so I think it's a general trend between the guys that weren't able to qualify that top of the medium tyre and get the long stint out of the way early. Yeah, I'm just looking through all of the other cars now, and we've got Doc Co-op actually on the outside of Smalley here. Who's going to be able to make the move stick? Smalley gets air and somehow turns in the air. I'm not sure that happened, but they're still side by side. Into Puon now. Who's going to get this position? It looks like Smalley has the advantage on track, and he nips through in this contact there. Co-op's off the road. Who's going to have that position? Smalley lets him back through. I have to say, 2 into 1 into Puon. Very rarely works, and I think we're seeing why just about there. AJ's now gotten past Lika for second. It must have happened somewhere around the opening part of this lap, maybe until they come, as Lika is now coming under pressure from Ash Wilson in that bright orange Aston Martin V12. Who's going to win out this battle? Is Ash going to try anything into the bus stop chicane here? Is going to take the outside line. Lika covers off the inside, but Ash has already drawn alongside. There's contact there, and Ash is drawn wide. Castle manages to slide through in all this. He's still side by side, but can Castle get that exit out of the corner nailed down? Flick on board with him now. Yeah, he's managed to make it work. Look at Ash. Ash is still alongside. Can he get past that Toyota Supra of Castle? Not quite this time around. He's going to have a nice tow onto the Kemmel Straight. See if he can get past at that point in the lap. See where he is now, coming through Radion now, 1/10 behind. It could be very easy for Ash to pull a move here, but I think there might be some games played between Castle and Lika to try and give some slipstream to each other. Look at that! Castle's actually pulling away, even though Ash has caught slipstream as well. That's a good indicator of just what those supers are capable of down the back straight. There we go then. I think Bag has just mentioned fuel currently at the moment. Let's have a look through there to see what kind of fuel everyone is running, because I think we should start to see our first wave of pit stops very soon. We've got Nils just about approaching a quarter tank left. We've got AJ with much more left compared to Nils at the moment. Leak has even more than that in his tank. We've got Castle running, I think, almost exactly the same. Castle running much more than Ash here, who's I think he's a bit higher with the fuel capacity than Nils at the moment. We look to Vilsec now, who's got about the same as Ash in that big V12 versus the big V8. We look to Robot behind just with a bit more than those Corvettes, because that's a V8 as well. Not quite as high revving, I don't believe, and it might be turboed, I'm not sure. GTR getting quite close to the 3/4 mark as well. Kimi right behind with much more. That could be an opportunity for an overcut in the pit lane if they want to try going at the same time. We've just skipped out Stig, sorry. He's got about the same, I think, as Kimi in front, if not a little bit less, a bit more actually, I think. Corp has quite a high level of fuel for that Aston from what we've seen. Smalley behind, I think it's the lowest we've seen so far. I'm not sure if that's just because we've got a bit through the lap. Danny behind him's got a relatively okay amount, and VR looks to have already been in to get those medium compound of tyres off. He is now on a full tank of fuel on his second stint trying to salvage what's been a fairly eventful affair so far. It was spun at turn 1, I don't want to say spun in play. There was possibly blame at play, something we won't know until the stewards decide, but had a spin at turn 1 with contact from Dot Co-op. So we'll have to keep an eye on BR, see how he can salvage this race, maybe get back into the points, or if this is ultimately a write-off at the moment. As we look to the top 2, that gap's been narrowed from 3.8 to 2.8 now. So AJ is closing, and he's on the harder compounded tyre, so this is looking ever better for that GTR to maybe get some better race pace going ahead. Behind, these three are in a big battle actually. Look at these three go. This is the battle for the final podium position here with Castle, Lika and Ash. Get a massive cacophony of engine noises through there. You've got, I think, a few V6s and a V12 in there. Running through P1 now. Where's Ash and all this? Lika Bond's a bit wide. That opens up Ash and Castle to come right through. It's going to be side by side with Ash. Can Lika try and fight back anything on the entry of Fanya? He's been a contact between the two, but I think Lika's out of position. Ash is going to come back at him. He might have the apex into it's not a named con or whatever. He might have to speed it into Campus though. Not quite. Lika holds the position, so that's cost Lika time, but more importantly, he's only lost a position. But at the same time, he's got an Aston Martin bearing down on the exhaust pipe. See, we're running side by side through Blanchimont now. This could get interesting. Is anyone gonna back out first? Looks like Ash just backs off the throttle, going into Blanchimont, not wanting to take any risks. But now into the bus stop chicane, he pulls out to the right hand side. We've got both leading cars in, and look at this. Look how much fuel AJ has compared to Nils. I don't think it's enough for a jump in the pit lane. Look how much fuel Castle has in reverse. That definitely won't be enough for a jump because of the gap between those guys already. As we wait for the cars to pile into the pit lane, takes a fairly long time around this track as far as I understand. Or maybe my game's bugged. This appears to be taking far longer than it should. Either way, we'll see who comes out first. Oh, there we go, eventually. New tyres on for AJ. That'll probably be the soft compounded tyre as of the moment. We've got Ash in now. .Cole waiting to be served. Nils out in front. He's got a lot less fuel than AJ. Can that make a difference in this round of pit stops? Can AJ get closer? Can AJ pass? Depending on how much fuel each car takes. How much does Nils come out with? 97% he's on the medium compounded tyre. Where's AJ in all this? AJ's ahead! AJ's ahead. He's jumped that Aston Martin in the pit lane. No, he hasn't, because Nils has actually got the run down the straight line. So while they were ghosted, the two are going side by side through Eau Rouge and Radion here. Who's going to make it out ahead? Looks like there's a bit of contact between the two straight away. They're still side by side. Heading up Radion. Now down to the Camel Straight. More contact between the two. They're keeping it relatively clean. Those little nudges aren't going to cost them too much time. They are literally inseparable as we come down to Lakecombe now. It looks like AJ has the straight line advantage, but in that slipstream in the last part of the straight, can Nils do anything? It goes down the inside. Can he make it stick? He's got the inside for the next part of Lakecombe. AJ goes off the track. Can Nils get any part of that back? He's ahead, going through Malmedy. What a battle we've just seen for the lead. AJ comes back down the inside at Rivage. Can he fight back? No. So I think that's very important for Nils on the weak compounded tyre. He's managed to just about squeeze ahead on this second stint. Now it's just going to be about holding AJ for as long as he can down this back straight, so he has his best chance to come back at him through the last stint of the race. What a battle we've just witnessed going down the Camel Straight. That was awesome. Awesome racing from the two to keep it perfectly well and clean. And AJ comes back around the outside. Fanya, can he make this one stick? He's trying to hold on to that inside, not quite. Nils putting up a stalwart defence here. Look to the back of the pack, these cars have been separated. VR's actually made a blinder of a pit stop. He's back into 5th from all the way back to being spun. What an undercut from the Dutch driver. We look to these two again now into Blanchimont. These two are inseparable at the moment. AJ slides past, but he might be compromised a little bit on the entry to Blanchimont. Not quite, but can Nils fight back again? Going into the bus stop chicane, AJ claims the inside this time. No, he doesn't! Nils chooses to opt behind, and I think for now Nils will just play the reserved game, or maybe try and slide back ahead on the Camel Straight. It's a bit of a risky game considering that AJ's on the soft compounded tyre and will likely have an advantage out of the source. We're right on board with him now to see if that Aston Martin can do anything against that speed of the of the speed of the GTR. As I was saying that, Nils runs a bit wide, and that could actually compromise his entire run. He's about 5/10 back now. At the rate he's gaining, he might just be able to make something work, but the speed of that GTR in a straight line might just be overpowering. As of the moment, we'll see. Crossing the hill, we're down to 4/10 now, closing within 3/10. He might just be able to draw alongside. He'll have to make it. We'll have to make an apex stop work though. I don't think he'll be able to draw alongside. It'll be a move from a long way back if he goes for it. He thinks about it. He pulls to the outside, but ultimately in the end, the speed of that GTR just proves a little bit too much in the end. We look to Castle now, currently running in 3rd position. As I said, he'd be the dark horse in this race. It looks like our prophecy might be coming true. Thank you, Castle, for making sure that we can at least have something. As we see Nils getting a bit slidey there on the right-hander of Ravage. This is now going to be about sticking to AJ as much as he can, so that he can try and claw something back on that last stint. As we see Lika and VR fighting down into Puan. I think VR's already got the position going ahead as Lika made a mistake there somewhere. It looked like he was quite slow on the corner. Has he made a mistake on the exit of No Name? No, he was fairly reserved through the corner. I think VR just had an amazing run coming through No Name or X, whatever you choose to call it. He's had an amazing run through there. As we look at Vilsec now, on the back of this fight for 3rd. It is a fight for 3rd as everyone's closing up to Castle in front now, as VR is going to be able to get a tow here actually. We should have a look. Oh, wow! Just caught that slide. What a save from that Nissan GTR. A lot of weight in that curb. He's managed to hold on to it for now, at least. You see Lika on the back of him now, riding the outside curb there. Blanchimont not quite able to draw alongside as for the moment. We're going to look a bit further down to the grid with Kimi here being chased down by Ash by the looks of things. We've got Maximus down in 9th position in a bit of a bubble with no cars really close ahead or behind. We've got Robot just behind in the final. It might not be the final point scoring position. I might be wrong on that. I'm probably wrong on that. As we see Doc Hoff and Stig here going at it through the final bus stop chicane. We see Stig taking a fairly wide line, but I don't think he's going to be able to draw alongside with a fairly botched entry. He took a bit too much of that entry curve, I think. Well, that second apex curve, and it just car bounced and ultimately offset his line. So Doku holds position in 11th for now. As we see this battle for 3rd going on again. This is absolute madness. As we see all these cars running down to turn 3, I believe it is, or turn 4. They stay rank and file for now. Vilsec's got ahead of VR and all that, so VR's dropped a fair bit behind. Vilsec now on the back of Lika could be looking to make a move. Down into Ravage side by side. Can he make it work? Lika got a bit of oversteer on the entry, squeezes Vilsec to the inside, but ultimately that Corvette gets the position and is now up, ready to challenge for 3rd with Castle. VR's lost out massively here. He was up running in 4th, I think, at one point, and now he's dropped back down to 6th. He's had a bit of a rough camel straight, I think, at that point in the lap. Kimi and Ash just behind this battle. But look to AJ, who's already pulled out a 3.6 second gap over Nils' closest rival. This could be the stint in which the race is won from AJ, as we see him clawing around the lap now. If he can pull out enough of a gap here and Nils can't close it down on even tyre wear, this could very well be the stint that puts the nail in the coffin. We see Vilsec now already on the back of Castle here for P3. He's already alongside going into Blanchimont. Castle with a squeeze to the inside of the track. Can he make it work around the outside again? Can he make it work around the outside? Will he make it work around the inside? Not quite. He's pushed off the track. I'm not entirely sure whose fault that was. We won't point fingers. But going down into the bus stop chicane now, Castle still being hunted down by this pack of, I think it's a pack of 5, 6. Either way, it's not a comfortable situation to be in for the Toyota Supra right now. As we see Lika currently trying to defend from Iceman Kimi by the looks of things. Kimi gets held a bit behind VR at the moment, and that allows Kimi to just slide through and hold the line going into Eau Rouge and Radeon. We don't think he'll remain challenged, but let's just make sure and see as Kimi slides past VR now, up into 6th position. Oh, properly sliding. Cars jumping around at the top there. Last American picked car, yes, was the Mustang. Yes, it was. Or, I mean, you could actually count the Pontiac GTO in the Classic Cup, if you were being truly pedantic, but I think in terms of an actual main series, this is the closest you'll get to having an American car racing with 2 American drivers. We've only got 1 for this race, but we'll have 2 for the next going into the sprint race. As we see, Vilsek has already pulled past Castle for P3. Best lap time so far at 2:16.7, last lap time at 2:18.2. That compared with AJ's last lap, that was the wrong button. That compared with AJ's 2:15.8 last lap, was that his last lap? And he's going quicker than the fastest. This is looking ever brighter for AJ, looking ever murkier for Nils, who's 1 second behind his own best time. That Asman seemingly struggling on the medium rubber tyres, that GTR seemingly thriving on it. As these two have carved out a 10-second gap to the closest car, 16 seconds to AJ from the lead. We've got a massive pack of 3 cars here. What's going on here? We've got 3 cars trying to kill each other through Blanchimont. Looks like Lico's ahead. VR and Kimi now going side by side through Blanchimont. Kimi makes it work around the outside, but he might not be able to hold on to that position. As he passes a car around the track, he might just hold on to it though, as Ash tears down the inside of VR now. Going into the bus stop chicane. Kimi's gone wide. That might open up a move. No, one of the cars behind has gone in. It looks like VR. So VR's dived into the pits. Where's Ash in all this? Ash is now challenging Kimi for P6 here. He's already passed by the corner, but he doesn't have the line just yet. Who's going to come out ahead in the source? Kimi takes the late braking approach, but Ash is going to counteract right under him. But I don't think he'll hold the line going down into Eau Rouge. Oh no, he's got him. I will eat my words. As we look to Castle and Lika now, what are these two going to do? Are they going to play team orders down into Lake Como? They're not going to fight each other, they're going to tow each other and try and save just that bit more fuel for the pit stops, try and pull out a bit more of a gap between this tussling pair behind. We've got Ash and Kimi now still going at it down into Lake Como. Kimi's gone into the late braking. Has he overshot the corner? Yes, he has, and Ash holds the position from some smart placement of the car there, and compensating for Kimi's braking. Well done to the British driver, getting ahead, or holding the position, sorry, of Isaacman. Kimi looking to Castle Lika now. Lika looks to have a bit of a pace advantage through Sector 2. In fact, might be able to check that, flicking onto a feature that is vastly underused. Branch on the contrary, the live timing board. So looking at Lika and Castle now, Lika's 3/10 quicker through that initial. In fact, no, Lika's quicker in almost all sectors of the lap. Apart from Sector 3 where he's 2 tenths behind, but he's massively quicker. Through that Sector 2 point. Well, actually, we'll see what happens when they come to the Sector 2 marker. On the jump to conclusion, so 1037 from Lika, 1038 from Castle. So Lika is still going a little bit quicker under those sector times. We flick back to watch Ash and Kimi. We've got AJ in the pits ahead. I think Nils will probably follow him in. We won't focus on that. We'll just keep an eye on that left-hand side board. We watch Kimi now going, trying to make a move. Hang on, that's the wrong button. Where have I gone? There we go. And everyone dived into the pits then. So it's everyone straight into the pits. For here we've got Lika on 70% of fuel. That's the highest I can see on track. How's that going to benefit the Finnish driver when he comes out of the pits? We've got Nils now coming off of the medium compounded tyre. AJ coming off of that old soft. Can Nils do anything on this final stage? He's only just pulling into the pits. Where's AJ and all this? He's still refueling. So we're going to wait until AJ pulls out of the pits, see where he is. Still stopped. He's out of the pits now. Where's Nils? Nils is still refueling. Last time we checked, it was about a 6-second gap. Where's Nils going to come out behind that? Still refueling. Still refueling as at the moment AJ's coming down La Source and into Eau Rouge. Where's Nils? He's out of the pits by the looks of things. He's only just exited the pit lane. AJ's already over the top there of Radion. So that's really I have to say, I think that might be, unless AJ comes out with a mistake, I think it's Nils' race. Then in time he'll be consigned to second position once Stig pits for his final stint. Vilsik will come back to third, Back back to fourth, and so on and so forth. This battle, even after the pit lane, is still close as can be. We've got Kimi now trying to go down the inside of Lika into lane come. Who's going to come out ahead of this tussle? Who brakes the latest? It looks like Kimi just got on the brakes that bit later. Lika holds the line though. A bit of contact between the two. VR's going to try and get on this battle now. They're still side by side. Going through Melmedy now. Who's got the position? It looks like Kimi's got the position. He holds the line down into Ravage. Lika thinks about a move, but Kimi covers that off pretty much instantaneously. Lika's going to be trying to get back now, I reckon. At the Spanish driver, try and hold on to top six. One thing we haven't paid attention to is the battle further back down the grid. We'll have a look at Stig now. He'll be coming in this lap, I presume, so we'll keep an eye on Stig, see where he comes out at his pit stop. Currently going through, that's Campus at the moment, into Spa-Francorchamps. That's a big run up to Blanchimont. No, losing a lot of time, so ultimately Nils Vilsik has to be expected ultimately. He's on much older medium tyres as opposed to Nils on much softer, or much younger soft tyres, sorry. Iceman Kimi has pulled out a nice gap behind to OFR Lika, already broken slipstream. That is, Lika now having to defend from VR and Ash. This time around, going into the bus stop chicane. We'll keep an eye when Stig comes into the pits. He's in with 4% fuel, so that's going to be a big. It's not going to be a big fuel job, so he has to fill 4 laps. That's not max tank capacity, so he doesn't have to fill the whole way. But ultimately, we'll have to see if that pace deficit has dropped behind some of the cars he was fighting in the first place. We'll look to everyone now slowing back into their rank and file positions. With Stig in the pits, we'll look to VR now. Currently in 7th position, trying to chase down that Tyre Choices. We know that thing's quick in a straight line. It outran the same it outran the same Nissan GTR with slipstream. With 3 cars having slipstream, the Supra was pulling away from GTR, despite the GTR having slipstream on the Supra. That tells you most of what you need to know. Looking at Lika then, looking at VR, going on board. That's the wrong camera. Going on board as my camera's why is my camera pointing backwards? Tell you what then, we'll hop on board with Lika then. Going through Lacombe. Ash has gone wide. He's going to be jeopardised by that. He has to give the position back. He might just get a penalty for that excursion there. It wouldn't really be that fair as you get a massive slide on through that last corner. I should probably figure out why my camera's pointing backwards. Stig is slotted in 2nd class position just in front of Danny. Where is Danny on track? Let's see Danny as of the moment. Right, let me try and fix this. For some reason my camera's only pointing backwards. I think I might have done something on the keyboard. Can we go on board now without it pointing backwards? No, we can't! Hang on a minute, I think I might know how to fix it. No, I do not. Oh well, we should probably not use onboard cameras then. Unless, well, I mean, we could use them. Either way, we look back to this battle that's been raging all race between Lika VR and Ash going through Blanchimont now. We've seen moves try to be pulled through Blanchimont, some of them successful, some of them not so. VR dives to the outside of the Toyota Supra going down into Blanchimont. He's got a nose ahead, maybe? He's been shoved off the track by Lika. Here we go then, he's off the track. Ash might be able to gain the position here. That's the wrong keybind. VR is nearly 3 wide into the bus stop chicane, and Ash has come out on top through all of this. Skirms through the chaos and manages to make it work. Very good placement of the car from Ash there. He's picked up a couple of corners in the space of... He's managed to pick up a couple of positions in the space of a couple of corners. Vilsec, and I think now that we're into the dying stages of this race, we can have a quick rundown of the grid. AJ's been fairly imperious, setting the pace on the medium pump at a tyre while most were on the softs. He's come up from 7th position to lead this race by 15 seconds, and the showing of prowess from the Nissan GTR driver. Mills second. I think he would have thought he might have had a bigger chance going into this race ahead of AJ. He was setting the pace throughout qualifying. He had a 14 in there somewhere. Most people saying 15th in that quali pace, but ultimately it wasn't to be. I think today for Mills, still got 3 laps of the race to go, but on sheer pace, he's not catching enough. As of the moment, in fact, AJ's even gone quicker into the 2:51 last lap from Mills with a 2:16.2, so he's not actually catching. So I think it's going to be a race of ifs and buts for Nils. Vilsec in third, running very well. He came from a bit further down the grid actually than AJ to come onto the podium places. That was like a car. Castle in fourth, Dark Horse for my podium. 1 step off, so I can't. I don't think I can too much sort away from that, but still a very good race from Toyota Supra. They'll be looking to see where they can pick up just a bit more pace though going into the next few races. I think from what I've heard they're running very minimal downforce, so it might just change from here on out. Kimi looks to be not quite catching the Supra in front, but sticking with him relatively well enough. I think specifically Kimi, he's been very, very competitive in past few seasons of Group 3. He would have wanted a bit more than to be fighting for 5th position. I think he would have been wanting to be able to see those podiums and see them through. Ultimately, still a good position in 5th, still a good points haul. His team isn't here at the moment. We've got, I think, Robot in his reserve, so he hasn't got the full team as of the moment. Neither have the Hamzaki cars, as Proctor joined late. But a good points haul to finish 6th. Ash in 6th, speaking of Devil, he's been having a good race all night long with VR. Who VR is actually, to talk about him first, has made an astounding first drive. He's had some awesome pace that we know he has, ultimately, throughout all of this race. I was going to say the latter half of this race, but through all of this race, we've seen an awesome comeback from being spun round on the grid at the last corner. He actually cuts Rouge Muddy on a bit. We might see a penalty there, and if so, he's going to have to back out of this battle. There we go, 5 tenths penalty. He's going to have to try and avoid Overton Ash. Just for now, he burns it straight away. That's very good manners from the Dutch driver. Ash, again, I think will be one that will have to take away some lessons from this. Unsure if that's where he'd want to be, or if that's where he'd expect it to be. Either way, I think Ash, who's won races in the past and fought with Kimi, Castle, the front runners of the discipline at some point, will come out of this looking to improve. But then again, that's the whole point of racing. Lika had a very good start to this race, but has seemingly just dropped off as of recent. I think he can take away that race starts are very good to keep that long run momentum going. We've got Maximus up next. Haven't seen Maximus for a few seasons, but it's good to see him back in that Nissan GTR and already running in the point, so he's made a good foundation in the 217s already on soft tyre pace, so he's made a very good foundation. This is the start of kind of a new chapter in OFR for Maximus. Where's Robot now? Robot in 10th. He'll be, I think, very happy with his pace, considering he was a failing last-minute reserve, I believe. That Mercedes car with not much setup work done, not much track time in the bag. He's running in the points. I think he'll be very happy with that. Smalley was also one that came into this not feeling great about the track or the car, and he's come out just on the verge of the points, just ahead of Stig, who might just be closing behind, but either way, to say he's been running 11th, I think he'll be okay with that. So will Stig, who obviously a D1 driver, still I think learning his, still taking his footsteps into Gran Turismo, still learning the rules of the road. Very happy to come away. If he can get 11th, I think he'll be a bit happier than that. As we see Smalley actually ghosting into turn 1 there. Might have had a penalty. Did Smalley. Corp, I have to say, I think he'll be quite disappointed after what was an okay qualifying, actually. Better than I think he was expecting his qualifying to go after an initially pretty rough few practice laps. He had a pretty good qualifying, but then seemed to drop off in the race after a few incidents at the start, regardless of fault. And Danny, I think, will definitely be rearing. He started ultimately in 6th, his best start from qualifying position in OFR so far. Ultimately, just kind of dropping off the back of the field. He's got his lessons to learn, but ultimately we know he'll get there. He's very resilient, is Danny, and we're happy to see him whenever he checks on the track. As we look to AJ now, though, rounding Paul-Frere corner. It's been fairly imperious from the young Brit. The Nissan GTR, the Bumblebee Nissan GTR, I think we can go with, as he rounds Blanchimont now. Going into the bus stop chicane for the very final time. He'll have to navigate this clumsy little last few corners, lagging around a bit, but ultimately that's not going to stop him now as he crosses the line to take the first victory of OFR's Season 6 with some semantics across the line. Thought he might have spun the car across the line, and I have to admit I wouldn't have been happy. As we see Nils coming around in P2 now, goes a bit wide on the exit there. Vilsack actually massively closed up during this entire thing as we look to Nils coming across the line in P2. Very good result from Nils there to come P2. Vilsack comes home P3, very good result. I think Nils will be a bit disappointed considering he started on pole, but he's still come home with big points in the bag. Vilsack comes home in 3rd. Iceman Kimi actually got past Castle there. 4th position. Castle ultimately coming home in 5th in the end. We've got VR ghosting a penalty across the line. Lika comes home in 7th place ahead of Maximus in 8th. Ash is slowing down across the line, run out of fuel. So he caught that almost perfectly to Robot behind. We look to Smalley now. Where's Smalley? There we go. Smalley, we found him in the end, running on the last bit of fuel he possibly could to cross the line in P11. Stig crosses in P12 across in the line. Doc comes across the line for P13. And now we wait for Danny to round Fania, Campus, Paul-Frere, Blanchimont at the bus stop chicane before we can see the final checkered flag. That was a fairly eventful race. That battle for the midfield was absolutely superb. We had, I think, 1.56 cars jostling it out for, I think it was P5. And the good thing is, everyone kept it clean, everyone kept it nice and friendly. There was a bit of friendly love tapping in there, here and there, but ultimately, as long as no one is forcibly pushed off the track, then a bit of bumping is not minded. As you see Danny now coming across the bus stop chicane to round out this first feature race of the OFR Division 1 Championship Season 6. So then, there we are. We've got about 5 minutes until we've got about 5 minutes until our next race. So anyone in chat still, feel free to hop in, put a few messages, see how everyone's doing. Can run a few laps out on track if we so desire. I have to plug in my wheel, but that's no bother. And there we go. The settings have changed. The sprint race is now in order. Let's see if everyone ready's up. Yeah, I think we're seeing everyone ready up instantly, so it might actually just be good to go now. We did start quite late, considering some early lobby issues, so we might see Ash to tell everyone to ready up now, or we might see, yeah, there we go, everyone into so I can set up the grid. It won't be to go immediately, that'll just be to make sure the grid is reversed properly and ready for when we're good to go. suppose we can actually look into this little menu here, our good old-fashioned member list. This, if anyone doesn't know, this is a really useful feature in Gran Turismo that I absolutely adore, in which you click through a few settings to see where everyone is at the moment. It's mostly assists, but I think there is some stuff we can take away from it. No, okay, there's... Ah, here we go. You can actually see what compound of tyre everyone's running. So we've got... So to start with, I think this is everyone's pre-race start. No, we've got AJ on the softs. We've only got 2 cars in the mediums at the moment. We've got VR and Vilsec both on the medium compound of tyres. That might be to start the next race, it might not be. I'm kind of unsure at the moment. We'll see if anyone else is out of track. So at the moment, not quite. We've got Castle now, giving his first run out of track. And now joining us for this next race will be Proctor, who we unfortunately didn't see last race because of a quick... I think it was a timing error. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't checked chats or anything yet. Ultimately, what matters is we have him with us now, so we'll appreciate his presence next race. Where's Castle then? Did he go out? No, Castle stayed in at the end. Sorry about that, Mew. I just quickly had a massive sneeze and didn't feel like blowing everyone's ears out. Let's see what's going on in chat. Okay, here we go. So, it looks like that incident between VR and .co-op at the very start of the race, looks like Doc actually had to restart his wheel around that part of the track, and therefore pulled over. I'm not sure if that was the same contact, actually. I don't think it was the same contact, but either way, no hard feelings between the two, hopefully. I think we could be about to see the race start up now. You can see Ash typing. We've got 3 minutes until the start. And Smalley's being Smalley as usual. We love him. It's alright. It's times like this when you start to miss Ash and his random, nonsensical, benign quotes. Because at least they fill up content in the stream. Ultimately, I don't have the pleasure of that kind of random access knowledge to just pull out circuit facts out of absolutely nowhere. And Smalley has been censored. The censorer has been censored. As at the moment, waiting for the next race start. It's a bit of a reverse grid. I think, if I remember, it's from 1st to 10th. Might be wrong on that, might be 1st to 8th. But we've definitely got some sort of reverse grid coming up in the next race. I think we should talk a little bit about car choice. The cars at the moment we have on the grid are Securo's Toyota Supra, Castle's Toyota Supra. We've got AJ's Nissan GTR. We've got no time actually, because the next race is starting. So as soon as I try and create some interesting content, Ash starts the race. We'll have to have a word about that, where I shout at him for 30 minutes, which sounds, to be honest, like most of our chats. No, I don't want to do that. Let me in the race. Oh no. There we go, we're in. So, looking towards the first corner, Danny leads. We've got a full reverse grid then, with Hughes, Shelby last, Shelby first by the end of the next race. We've got all the lights on by the end. We've got all the lights on. Cars are revving. And eventually, we've got all of our lights out. There we go then. Danny leads into turn 1. It looks like Doc isn't able to mount much of a challenge. Into turn 1, we've got a car that's got stuck there. It looks like Proctor. He might have jumped the start. So that's really hindered him going to the start of this race. We've got, looks like AJ might actually be stuck at the back. I've turned off the HUD for some bizarre reason. Where's AJ in this scuffle for early positions? He's in 12th position as of the moment. He's not made the greatest start. Nils is going to jump 2 into 10th. Leading us down into turn 1 is Doc Court then. We've got cars all over the place through Radion. It's a complete scuffle position down going into all over the place. Smalley darts down the inside of Ash here. Into Laguna. He's going to make the position work. Is he? Ash is still alongside. Can he make the position work? Yes, he can. As he slides through, we've got an AMG sliding at the back there. That'll be Kimmy, who's getting all that shit. We've got an Aston. We've got this. We've got Ash all off the track, and it looks like a that was a Corvette of, I'm not sure who it was. Where's my keyboard? That was a fairly messy late coming. We got a lot of cars off. We've got 3 cars off at turn 4. What is that? It's two of the Hamazaki cars, one of the Nissan GTRs, and Ash in that what's it called? Whatever. It's Ash in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. So whatever happened there, we'll have to. I mean, I think we're a bit too far back to get a replay at this current moment in time, as we see Doc Court leading us down into the first lap. We've got Stig following behind from Leeka, from Robot from Leeka. We've got Kimmy behind and Nils making up great ground at the start of this. That's just what he needs to do to try and stay ahead of AJ for now. We've got Vilsek behind in 8th position. Castle and VR attacking him in 9th and 10th. We've got Danny behind in 11th currently. Not been the great start from him. He started on pole and has dropped right back down to 11th. Maximus in 12th. Proctor in 13th. It's been a pretty horrible start from Proctor. He got held up. He had a jump start, I think, at the end of lap 1. And then had an incident at the top of Lake Com, which dropped him back, and Ash Smalley round out that top 10. Sorry, I just flipped through that like I wanted to give you one after. We've got a massive scuffle going on at the back here. This includes 2 of the Nissan GTRs, 2 of the Toyota Supras, and 1 of the Corvettes. It's AJ, Leeka, Nils, I think. Where's Nils in all of this? That's not Nils. Here we go. It's Leeka currently sort of bottlenecking an entire kind of kaleidoscope of cars here. Going through the top of the mountain. Cars all over the place again. Vilsek looks to have been cutting the top of the hill there at Lake Com. He's got a 5/10 penalty for success there. He'll have to wear that off before he can make any moves on the cars ahead. He's going to try and burn it off into the chicane. Yes, he is. Burns off before they come and actually managed to stay ahead of Castle through the chicane there. So that's really going to advantage him staying on race pace. We've got Kimmy now attacking Nils for 4th, whereas Nils kind of trying to ghost Kimmy here. We've got Robot now kind of defending for his life in 3rd. AJ still down in 7th, being bottlenecked by Leeka here. He's really going to want to get past the Finnish driver as soon as he can. Is he going to try into Puon? Not quite. He was close enough to be pulled alongside, but I think he would have had that door closed on him quite quickly, as he's literally pushing him along through Puon. Can he make anything work into Fania here? He's going around the outside. Can he make it stick? Not quite. Looks like Leeka holds that position for now, as we've got 4 cars here actually, including all 3 of the current Mercedes drivers scuffling for the podium positions, as we see Nils sliding on the inside of Robot. Paul Frere Very good move there. Also a bit of opportunism. Just slide past like that. Kimmy's still in the back of this group though. Don't count Kimmy out at any point. Again though, this group of cars behind is absolutely bottlenecked by Lika, who's going to really need to find an opportunity, not just for himself but for everyone else behind, to try and get up to these leading two. He goes around the outside at the bus stop chicane. Can he make it stick this time? He's on the outside. Is he there? Not quite. Lika holds the position for now. Have we got a car in? Not quite. I think it was just a car going wide. Why have I turned the HUD off? Give me a second. There we go. I need to stop shooting F11 on the keyboard. So they can still hold the position ahead of AJ behind Vilsec now with an opportunity to attack that Nissan GTR down the straight. Castle just behind Danny in 10th. He's made up the position from what looks like Maximus behind Proxys. Oh no, VI. It was VR in. So VR straight away in. Smalley's in from lap 2 on the medium compound tyre. He might be able to go 6 laps on that soft compound tyre. We look to Vilsec now, trying to attack AJ, going down the Camel straight. Can he make anything work around the outside? AJ covers the inside. It was almost 3 wide there, going down through Lake Como, but in that battle in front, still raging ahead. It looks like Nils is up into 3rd through this. Kimmy has all of a sudden managed to get into 2nd in this entire shebang. Stig is currently fighting his Dutch compatriot Nils on the outside of Rivage. Can he make that work? Not quite. I think Nils will hold the line by corner exit and going into no name. Lika then holding off AJ still for 6th position. This is absolutely crucial for AJ as he sees Nils start to reel in these positions in front ahead of him. Can he make anything work to get past Lika? Because he really needs to start getting on it. As we see, that was the AMG there of Stig currently battling with Lika. He's pushed off the track. Lika's pushed off the track, so is Stig. He's not going to be happy with that, is Lika. But one person that is going to be very happy with that is AJ, who gets 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. That was already costing, that battle was already costing him a lot of time, and he's just had the positions handed to him on a plate. He's free to get ahead or to catch up to his nearest rival, Nils now. As we see Lika now back ahead of Stig, but that's really going to have annoyed Lika, I think. That very easily could have been. A nice position from there, holding off AJ. We've got Robot now on the back of AJ. Is he going to try and attack the Imperious Nissan GTR? Not quite into turn 4. AJ's in. AJ's gone straight into the pits behind Kimmy. A little bit less fuel than Kimmy. That won't make much of a difference in pit stops though. Nils really needs to get a move on though. I reckon Nils has probably seen that and knows that an undercut is likely coming, as we see Vilsec there going for a move on Robot down into the source, keeping it nice and clean between the two of the admins, of course, of the entire OFR server, fighting wheel to wheel here, going down into Eau Rouge and Radion. Can he make this work? Vilsec on the outside of Eau Rouge, switch back to the Radion, and ultimately he's not able to draw alongside, but he's now got a perfect run with no slipstream for Robot ahead, down into Lake Hom and Malmedy. I remember my corner names. As we look to him now, he's gaining 10th by 10th. He's straight down the brakes into Lake Hom. That was a fairly easy move. Lika tries to slide down the inside with that as well. Castle tried it as well, but has not quite been able to make that work. There's a bit of a snap oversteer. Jolts Robot into the American. He lets that position go by. I think that was the right thing to do. As Stig also takes his chance with Robot here. He slides down the inside through Rivage, and Robot loses out, I think, 4 positions in the space of 1 corner. He's going to have to try and just stick with this pack now. He's in a good position at the moment, but I think he'll want some of those positions back. Nils now rounding Poo on. I think it'll be likely we see him in this lap. It's the halfway mark of the race. AJ, he knows, is going to go for an undercut. Where is AJ? On track at the moment. He's in 12th position. Going down into Rivage. He's currently 41 seconds behind the lead cars. So, where's Doc Courtney? He's currently going through Paul Frere, leading up to Blanchimont. Nils right behind him. I don't imagine Doc will fight Nils too much. I imagine there might be a bit of team orders to try and help their favourite. I say favourite. We don't really know who's favouring who, but Nils certainly is proving to be the quickest in that Aston as of the moment. Down to the bus stop now. I think we'll see both cars into the pits now. Yeah, there they are. Where's AJ now? We're right on board with AJ just to see. Oh, of course we have the reverse camera. Let me flick through a bunch of buttons, see if I can fix this. Either way, we'll stay on board as we see if they can do anything. I've turned the HUD off. There we go. So, where are the cars that are currently pitting? They've been in for quite a while. It takes quite a while to even get to the box on this track. We'll actually take off the onboard because driving in reverse is getting really disoriented. No, I just want to switch camera, please. Thank you. Sorry. AJ now rounds the final corner. Doc's out. Nils is out. They still hold the lead. Kimmy's coming out behind this lot as well. Where's AJ? He's in 5th position, 1.9 behind VR. So the undercut, it has to be said, has not really worked. He's not much closer to Nils than he was before, and he's still a position behind, which means he still has to fight VR for that track position. So the undercut not working as well as some people I thought. Around this track, we've got Vilsek and Castle currently fighting each other now. For 6th place, Castle down the inside of the Corvette. Can he break the braking move? Yes, he can. Covers off the apex. Nice move there from Castle on Vilsek. You see Lika and Stig currently battling it out for 8th and 9th. That looks like a fairly comfortable 8th position for Lika, but Stig is going to fight this. Tries to gesture that he wants to make it through a Rivage. Lika's just going to park the apex and not let Stig get an undercut. I think he might have won it there. And he will continue to follow through that confidence. Puon. Kimmy now is right on the back of Doc Corp here, who I think Doc Corp might just be holding up Kimmy a bit to try and let Nils catch up, so that Nils doesn't have much of a tough time with Kimmy as he does. Kimmy gestures to the inside. He wants past. He wants that clear air. AJ's already passed VR there somehow. I need a replay on that right quick. Oh, and VR's off! VR's off in a massive way. What happened there? Can we get a replay of that? No, we can't, because the replay button isn't working, but it looked like those two might have come to blows. I wasn't really looking in the end. I had to quickly click down on my keyboard to try and find the replay button. Otherwise, AJ moves up into 4th position. VR tumbles down to 7th after all, so really good running. As the current moment in time, we've got Nils now already past Kimmy. So if that was a strategy from those two to make Kimmy hold up, and Nils has gone wide. Nils has gone really wide. That's going to open up AJ for an attack down into La Source and Lacon possibly. Let's see where AJ is then. Going down, he's in 4th position at the moment. He's got Nils just ahead. I think his championship rival is fair to say. Where's this going to end up? Down into Lacon or possibly even into Eau Rouge. Looking down then, we've got quite a wide camera angle there, still can't switch cameras. Tell you what, while they're running down Camel, I'm going to quickly exit out of the replay and come back and see if I can switch cameras this time. No, I cannot. Alright. As we look at AJ now, he's already drawing alongside. We know that car's quicker in a straight line. We saw it in the feature race when these two dueled. AJ's already passed! Can Nils do anything with that last bit of slipstream? Gestures to the inside, no! He goes for it down the inside! Wasn't quite able to make it work, and ultimately has to settle for 4th position at the moment. I think what Nils has to do now is wait for AJ to get clogged in this traffic, and then make a move through the chaos of Kimmy and Doc. Somewhere in that point, Kimmy's actually gone past Doc Co-op for 1st position. Kimmy is now leading a race, and this is a position he will not want to relinquish through this race. We've got AJ behind in 3rd, Nils behind him in 4th. These two have been battling all week in practice times, in chat. You know, these two want to fight each other. These two want to win over each other. Oh my god! Nils got caught with a huge incident there. Getting a huge incident on the side of Puon. Did any of them get damaged? AJ's alright. AJ was the car that was hit there. That could have been so much worse for Doc and for AJ. I think they'll be both thinking the lucky stars in that incident didn't amount to anything more than quite a heavy tap. But as we look to Nils now, who's now closed up because of the pandemonium that just happened through Fania and Campus. Can he make anything work? It looks like AJ is actually pulling away because of the slipstream of a certain Iceman Kimi in front. So Kimi is absolutely here for the two cars currently following behind. He's going to have to be a defensive masterclass for Kimi to pull this off. He's not going to want to relinquish his position. He's got first place, but at the same time he's got two very hungry sharks lying in wait behind him in AJ and Nils, where the rest of the pack isn't quite able to narrow that gap down. AJ's best lap at 2:16, Nils' best lap at 2:16.5, Kimi's best lap at 2:16.8, so the pace difference isn't all that bad, isn't all that night and day between the two. The car behind Vilsek on 2:17.2. As we look to this now, look at AJ's already riding the coattails of Kimi. He goes off the track there, trying to find a way past. This could be 3 wide. It's and that's Kimi pushing Nils off the track. I have to say that'll definitely be investigated after the race. I think that was a bit over aggressive, has to be said, from Kimi as he dives down into Lake Com. Kimi's holding the position just about. AJ's trying to make it work from the outside. Can he pull anything off? AJ's pushing everywhere. Kimi's just closing the door everywhere he can. He wants this first, and he'll do anything to get it. Going down into Rivage, Kimi holds that position. I have to say, after Eau Rouge and Radion, I thought Kimi would be in third by the end of that straight, but the two cars still swamping behind. Look at what this is allowing the cars behind to do. Vilsek is gone from like 2.5 seconds to about 7/10 behind. Dot Co-op staying about the same gap, but Vilsek can now smell a podium finish in all of this. Just relies on Kimi doing that, keeping those two cars stalwartly behind through the quick sections of this track. As you can see, AJ's desperate to get through everywhere. I think there's been a contact there between AJ and Nils. Look where Vilsek is now. It's only been 3 corners, and he's already on the back of these leading 3 cars. He's past Nils. This is incredible stuff from these top 4. Absolute no holds barred. Some of them might have even thrown the rulebook out the window. As AJ goes down the inside of Porchemont, can he make it work? Vilsek is just in third behind. Kimi's in front. My voice is cracking so much, I apologise. But AJ just behind, not able to make it work still. And of course now he's got a bit of a gap. The 3 behind will continue to try and kill each other. Look at Vilsek, where he is. He's come from absolutely nowhere. We're on the final lap of this race now, and it's Kimi who's leading across the line, going into La Source. This is going to be one hell of a back straight as we look to the cars behind, actually tussling now. It's 3 wide. We've got an Aston round nearly. That looked to have been Dot Co-op through La Source, but now we come onto the back straight. Vilsek will now harass AJ for second place. By extension, AJ will harass Kimi for first place. Nils behind is going to have to pray for a miracle now. He's dropped a bit behind this front leading pack. Here comes AJ down the outside. Vilsek nearly going all the way onto the grass to try and make the position. AJ's got it. AJ's through. In Lake Com. Can he just run away with it now, or is Kimi going to continue to fight this battle? Can he dive down the inside anywhere? Can Vilsek do anything to try and get Kimi past this straight? My voice is completely shot, and I apologise for all the voice cracks, because I know they're there and I know they're so prevalent. But this has been an absolute white-knuckle brawl between this top 4, and I'm relishing every moment of it. Kimi now 6/10 behind. All he needs is a good final sector, and he might just be able to get another run down through the run after Paul Frere to Bonchemont into the bus stop chicane. He's 7/10 behind now. That might not be enough to either attack AJ or defend from Vilsek, who's ever closer. 3/10 behind, 2/10 behind. It's getting closer. This gap is coming down between the two. AJ might be about to run away with it. Gets a bit dicey on the exit of the second apex. Fania there going through Paul Frere now. These 3 aren't quite close enough behind, I don't think. AJ's just going to run away on the straight. They don't have slipstream. AJ's out of slipstream, so that might be the victory for AJ. But we're not done yet, as we've got 3 cars jostling for position here down into the final bus stop chicane. Can Kimi make anything? Can Kimi drag it across the line? Can Vilsek put something on the inside? Can Nils somehow steal this away? Where are we then? Kimi's still on the inside. Vilsek's just about there, but he's not able to make it work. And it looks like AJ will come across the line to win. We've got Kimi in second. Phil Seca crosses the line for third, a podium finish, and Nils comes across the line for, I think, a disappointed fourth position. Castle comes across in fifth. VR and Lika come across in sixth and seventh respectively. Robots in eighth. Doc is in ninth. Stig jumps. Oh no, didn't jump anyone. Stig jumps. Stig doesn't jump anyone. Stig jumps on in 10th. 11th is Maximus. Proctor comes across the line after a fairly unfortunate affair in 12th. Ash, again, same kind of thing. 13th. Danny comes across in 14th. And Smalley looks to have dropped back somewhere in that whole affair, who will come across the line in the last position on track. And I have to say, my voice is absolutely shot. What a race we've just witnessed between these top four. If we could have the rest of this all season, I will be very, very happy to continue commentary for you all. As we look to Smalley as he's finishing up. He didn't even get there in the time. So that's 2 for 2 from AJ as he wins both the sprint and the feature race. He'll be very happy with that result, has to be said. We'll have to see if that form can continue. As next week we go to Circuit Laguna Seca. It's a very different track to Spa. Not many opportunity for straight lines. A lot of corners, a lot of quick corners, and a lot of elevation change, especially at that famous corkscrew where anything can happen. We'll see you next week. Whoever's commenting, we'll see you next week for the next race of what promises to be a thrilling OFR season. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.